This is TWiT.
Get some help for people like David in Culver City, California. Hello, David.
How's it going, Leo?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you. I had a question. I've been looking a bit more to crypto lately, and it's something that I've looked into before, but I've been thinking about doing the mining specifically with the Helium network.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, so what we're talking about is cryptocurrencies, which the best known, of course, is Bitcoin. These are non-governmental backed currencies that, though they're not backed by a government, are widely used. People speculate like crazy on them because, well, you could make a lot of money. If you'd got Bitcoin early, you'd be a billionaire by now if you bought enough of it. Even Dogecoin, which was a joke, has done quite well for people. My daughter texted me last week and said, should I buy Dogecoin? And my answer to her was, at its peak, no. It's hard to get in on a speculative run-up at the end, not the beginning. If you get into the beginning, you're good. Now, helium's kind of interesting because, in fact, my friend Stacey Higginbotham, who's our IoT guru, has talked about this because you generate – so cryptocurrencies are mined – not with a pickaxe and a little miner's lamp, but with computing power. And this is one of the problems with most cryptocurrencies is they use a huge amount of computing power and more all the time because they're designed that way. When they're first generating Bitcoin, it's easy and it gets harder and harder as they get towards the end. And that means it requires a huge amount of electricity, a lot of computing power, a lot of electricity, so much so that it's not economical to mine Bitcoin unless electricity is very cheap. Other currencies are a little easier to mine. Helium, though, has a whole different way of looking at it because you mine helium by offering a network access point to people, which is kind of crazy. And I guess there is a market for it. So Stacy lives on Bainbridge Island up in the Pacific Northwest, and there's a lot of boats going by. And they can use this helium network for low-range location and things like that. It's not fast enough really to do internet over it, but it's LoRaWAN is what it's called, LoRaWAN, which is kind of cool. And then by offering that to people in your neighborhood or passing ships, you can generate helium. And she says she makes about $30, I think it was a week or a month. I mean, it's probably a month. It wasn't going to make her rich. But it kind of pays for the system. So it's a really interesting idea. I take it you've kind of, everything I've said you know, because you obviously researched it, but I just wanted everybody else to hear what we're talking about here. What's your thinking? You don't expect to make a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have a buddy of mine, and I've done some research on that. I have a buddy of mine that says he makes around $10 a day on it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe, the bigger city that you're in, the more...
That would make sense. Yeah, because more people would use it, and you get money whenever anybody uses it. It doesn't use a lot of energy. It's a 5-watt device. So, it's not like you need to have, Boulder Dam in your backyard to make it economical. That's pretty good if he's making $10 a day. Again, he's not going to get rich. And I notice he's not keeping the helium. He's selling it off right away.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
But by the way, you're also doing a good deed. Whether you make money or not, you're offering connectivity for people in your neighborhood, and it's a mesh system, so you're kind of building a network. So I'm very intrigued by it. I haven't been intrigued enough to buy it. How expensive is it?
Oh, it's $500.
Ooh, okay, okay.
Looking at, yeah, and that's why I'm a bit hesitant.
So I can tell you who's making money on this. The helium guys, because there's sure not $500 worth of technology in there. It's probably basically a Raspberry Pi grade computing device So there's maybe a $50 worth of hardware in there. But they're doing some really cool things. And if you're part of a network, a Helium network, you're helping people, which is great. Instead of proof of work, which is what Bitcoin and Ether and other coins do, they call it proof of coverage. So if somebody uses yours, you get some money. That's why you make more money in a city. The more people use your hotspot. Oh, and where are you? You're in Culver City. No. Yeah. Yeah, you'd probably do you'd probably do all right in Culver City. I mean, your friend, is he in the LA area? Where does he live?
He's in Oakland.
Yeah, see,
right outside.
The San Francisco Bay Area is you're gonna make the most money. There's gonna be the most Helium people there, right? In Silicon Valley area.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect to make $10 in Culver City, but you might. I don't know. It's really intriguing. It's basically 5G in a way, but using this not proprietary, but this less common low-RAN or low-RA, technology. That's just long-range wireless networking.
I'm on the fence about it because if I spent $500 on this, I just want to make sure that I'm not losing money.
Right.
So I want to make sure within at least 6 months, or at the most 6 months, I would make that back, or somewhere around there. So
you'd need to make about $90 a month to make it worthwhile. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Stacy makes that much. I think she makes about $30 a month. But again, she's on Bainbridge Island. She's not in a metro. So it's a really interesting. I think it's a very interesting piece of technology. I think you're going to be better off in a metro, in a big city. I think there's enough people around. I'd like to know how many people use Helium in the LA area. If there are a lot of them, you're going to make more money.
Yeah, I've looked at the network map on their website, and it looks like there's a good number of them.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Within a mile of me.
Oh yeah, they have a way to find out. And it looks like the price is pretty stable. I'm looking at the price. It's very stable. So it's not like you're going to make money on speculation. You're going to make money on the hotspots in your area. Now, do you get to use this yourself as a Wi-Fi hotspot or something, or is it just for other people? What do you get besides the coin?
I'd be using it just for the coin for the most part.
Yeah.
Just to make a little money on the
So it's really to do something for other people as much as for you. If you're getting paid in effect to provide a network. I'm going to have to look more into this. It's fast. I'm glad you called and asked about it. And I don't think there's any way to know how well you're going to do. You're doing the right thing. You're looking at the map that shows how many people are near you. That's certainly some of it. And it's early days. They've been doing this for a couple of years, but really it's only now starting to get some steam. So presumably if more and more people started using the products they offer, the maps or the car stuff they do, or the variety of different things they do, then it'd be more likely that you'd make money. So maybe, someday you'd make $100 a day, and then you'd go, wow, I'm so glad I bought this thing. It's a magic box that gives you money. But see, I'm really curious to see how much money you make. She doesn't make it enough probably to pay for it. I guess over a year she might. That's really fascinating. And yeah, so is it you learned about it because your friend is doing it? Is that right?
Yeah. I'm learning from him a bit, and I'm just wondering, I don't know exactly, who connects to these as far as the hotspots.
Right now, I don't think many. It's one of those, catch-22s. You got to have enough people offering it for it to be a valuable thing for you to use the software. But once enough people like you have Helium hotspots, then the stage 2 is to get more people to use their software. They do have a lot of software. It's quite interesting to me. It's a very interesting idea. And I would convert it to dollars right away, because who knows? Of course, if I told you that about Bitcoin 10 years ago, you'd kill me today. So who knows? It's really hard to know whether, a cryptocurrency is going to take off or not.
It really is. I had money in Bitcoin, and I doubled it, and then I pulled it out. And had I left it in, I'd have much more.
You'd have millions, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have eight Bitcoins sitting in a vault that I forgot the password to, but I'm glad because if I knew the password, I would have sold it when it was $1,000. So
yeah,
I'm glad. I have a hold forever strategy.
Yeah, and so that's why I was thinking with doing the mining. That way I can kind of get some money for now, and the money that I have in there into the crypto market, I can just kind of let it ride.
Yeah, that's probably the best idea. Yeah. I should buy one. It's $500. That kind of makes me mad because it can't be $500 worth of technology in there.
Oh, no. And I think it's supply and demand. They're having trouble distributing them. It's trouble supplying the demand. So there's a bunch are sold out, and even the ones that are available, it's pretty much you order it, and if you're lucky, you get picked for the number of orders they can give out that day or supply that day.
I do notice, if you look at the growth of their network, that they are kind of starting to trend up. It looks like it might be a exponential growth. So, it's starting to look a little like a hockey stick. That's a good sign. That means awareness is growing. So, gosh, I don't know. They've had 10,000 new hotspots in the last month. It's such an interesting idea. We've seen it before, though. This is not the first time. There was a company called Meraki that tried to do the same thing, basically mesh Wi-Fi. They wanted to cover the city with Wi-Fi. And if you had a Meraki router, that was part of the deal, you would allow others to use your Wi-Fi. And it failed. They went out of business. Well, they didn't go out of business. They got sold, and they became a standard routing company. They gave up on that, the mesh routing idea. So it's not the first time somebody's tried something like this. But this crypto thing is an interesting side bet to it.
The company prior to that, they weren't doing it with the crypto way.
No, not at all. You would buy a Meraki router. Cisco eventually bought them. But the idea was that you would, I guess it was maybe more for just being a good person, which might be why they went out of business. It's a lot smarter, a lot smarter to say, hey, you're going to make $30 a month or a day or whatever. $10 a day, that's pretty good. But that's because he's in Oakland.
Yeah, he's in Oakland.
Yeah.
I figure I'm 5 miles away from the ocean. I don't know if that helps at all, but I don't know.
I don't know how long the range is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting, isn't it? She's on an island, so there's nobody using it on the island, but she thinks she's getting the traffic from passing ships.
Okay. I'm seeing in Culver City, plenty of hot spots around the city.
Yeah.
And the more that's in an area, the better the signal can be.
If I didn't live in such a rural area, I'd probably get one. But that's because I'm interested in the idea. It may not pay itself off in 6 months. If you had $500 to play with, then it'd be probably worth it. Maybe in a year it'd pay for itself, and then you're making money.
Yeah. Oh, I'd have to wait a year then.
I don't know, David. You might get it all in the first week, and then you go, that darn Leo, he should have told me. Hey, David, it's a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad you brought it up because Stacy talked about it on our show a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of was like, I don't really understand this. Now I'm going to have to find out more about it.
Yeah, it seems to be trending. No, I appreciate you taking my call, Leo.
Yeah, it was a great question. It was really interesting. Good way to end the show.
You said 3 weeks ago, it was Stacy. I can kind of look back at that.
Yeah, it was something like that, but I don't know. It was on This Week in Google, yeah. But the thing is, there's a brief mention. I don't know if we spent enough. I'll ask her, listen this week, and I'll ask her more about it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, pleasure talking to you, David.
Absolutely, and you too.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.